A shadow falls across the Indian Ocean, vast and impossibly swift. On the deck of a 13th-century vessel, sailors stare upward, their faces a mask of primal terror. This is no passing cloud. It has form, intent, and wings so colossal they blot out the sun, plunging the world into an unnatural twilight and churning the sea with a wind of their own making. This is not a story told around a fire. It is the raw, visceral experience of encountering a living legend, an entity known to the ancients as the Rock. Its appearance is not an omen of a storm, but the arrival of the storm itself, an avian titan whose very existence redefines the boundaries of the natural world. We move now from the terror of a direct encounter to the sober, meticulous logs of history's most seasoned explorers. These are not fantastical tales, but field reports. When Marco Polo returned from his travels, he spoke of a bird of such unfathomable scale that its flight feathers were presented to the Great Khan, each one reportedly 90 spans in length. This wasn't mythology, it was documented evidence. Ibn Battuta, another of the world's most venerable travelers, recorded similar accounts. He described seeing what he believed was a mountain in the distance, only to be told by the ship's crew that it was, in fact, the Rock. They spoke of it with a chilling certainty, a creature that was simply a known, terrifying feature of their world. The shadow of this titan stretches far beyond a single ocean. Its presence is etched into the lore of civilizations across the globe. In Persian epics, it is the wise and ancient Simurgh. In Arabic texts, the fearsome Rukh. Even in Chinese legends, the Peng bird is described as having wings that, when spread, are like the clouds of heaven. Mapping these accounts reveals a breathtaking territory. It stretches from the mist-shrouded peaks of Madagascar, long considered its nesting ground, to the legendary Phantom Islands of Wak Wak. This is not a localized folk tale. It is the unmistakable global footprint of a creature that commanded the skies of the ancient world. Let us now unpack the sheer biomechanical impossibility of such a colossus. Estimates place its wingspan as dwarfing that of a modern Boeing 747. It would not just be larger, it would eclipse it entirely. How could such a creature achieve flight? The answer lies in an anatomy that defies conventional biology. Its skeletal structure is not composed of hollow bone, but of a theorized biocrystalline lattice. This arcane material possesses a tensile strength far exceeding any known organic substance, while being impossibly lightweight. This is the key to its power, allowing it to generate lift on a scale that seems to violate the very laws of physics. The force required for such flight is equally unfathomable. Each downstroke of its wings would generate hurricane-force winds, capable of tearing ships from the water and lifting prey as massive as elephants, as the ancient accounts so consistently claim. This is not a bird of prey. It is a living engine of destruction, a force of nature, given predatory form. But its power is not just brute force. We've uncovered evidence in obscure texts of a unique physiological adaptation, an arcane feature that explains its impossible agility. Deep within its colossal frame, at the base of its spine, lies a theorized secondary neural cluster, a second brain. Its hollow bones are not merely for flight. They are resonant chambers. They capture and amplify the planet's low-frequency hum, allowing the rock to navigate by sensing the very vibrations of the tectonic plates beneath it. This is not biology as we know it. This is a living, breathing connection to the deep arcane energies of the world itself. A primal link. The hunt of a rock is not simple predation. It is a terrifying display of physics, a force of nature unleashed. The ancient accounts of it carrying off elephants were never about lifting strength. They were a misunderstanding of a far more devastating tactic, the high-altitude gravity strike. Imagine it. The rock ascends, not just into the clouds, but beyond them, into the thin, cold air of the suborbital expanse, where the sky turns a deep, bruised violet. From this unfathomable height, it locks onto its target, a colossal beast moving miles below. It is a pinpoint of life on a vast, sprawling map. Then it dives. Folding its colossal wings, it transforms into an aerodynamic spear of feather and bone, breaking the sound barrier, then breaking it again. It doesn't strike to grab, it strikes to annihilate. The impact is an extinction-level event on a localized scale, a kinetic weapon of divine proportions, leaving behind a crater from which the rock then calmly collects its prize. But what if we have been viewing this titan through the wrong lens entirely? Let us engage in a breathtaking reevaluation. What if the rock is not merely an apex predator, but a fundamental component of a planetary-scale ecosystem? A creature so vast its very existence shapes the world we know. This is a profound speculation, but one supported by arcane patterns. Propose this: the passage of its massive wings through the upper atmosphere is a primary driver of the jet stream, its migratory paths carving the very patterns of our global weather. Its cry, an infrasonic resonance too low for us to hear, is a stabilizing frequency that calms the seething magma deep within the earth, subtly preventing cataclysmic volcanic events. At the heart of this legend lies its lair, the nest. This is no mere collection of twigs and branches. It is a colossal biofortress, a geological feature in its own right, constructed on the most inaccessible, storm-shrouded mountain peak, a place like the mythical Mount Kaf, a point where the earth scrapes the heavens. It is a structure woven from the trunks of entire petrified forests, ripped from the earth over millennia. These ancient stone-like timbers are bound together by strands of solidified magma, harvested from the hearts of volcanoes, and the nest is lined with the impossibly large feathers shed over eons, each one a shimmering, ethereal artifact containing the story of a forgotten age. For centuries, conventional science has offered a comfortable lie to explain away this colossal reality. They point to the fossilized remains of the Epiornis, Madagascar's extinct elephant bird. They hold up its massive eggs and declare the myth of the rock to be nothing more than a sailor's exaggeration, a folktale born from bone fragments. This explanation is a carefully constructed misdirection, a veil of mundane science thrown over an unfathomable truth. It is an attempt to shrink a living, breathing titan into a manageable fossil, to categorize an eldritch force of nature into a dusty museum exhibit. But the evidence of the elephant bird explains nothing. It only deepens the shadow the true creature casts. And so, the greatest objection crumbles. For decades, the lack of a body was the final shield for skeptics, but recently declassified satellite data has shattered that shield into 1,000,000 pieces. High-resolution LiDAR scans, originally intended for geological surveys over an uncharted Madagascar mountain plateau, revealed something impossible. Not a mountain, but a structure. There, etched into the bedrock, is a perfectly circular, crater-like formation, miles in diameter, consistent with the nest of a truly colossal avian. But the most unfathomable detail came from thermal imaging, a faint, residual heat signature pulsing with a rhythm too slow for geology, too ancient for any known biology, a signature that could only belong to something of immense scale, lying in a state of profound rest. This stunning implication reframes everything we thought we knew. The rock is not extinct. It is a creature of immense geological longevity, operating on a timescale we can barely comprehend. This leads us to the Great Slumber hypothesis. The rock enters a state of profound dormancy, a hibernation that can last for centuries, even millennia, between periods of activity. That faint thermal signature is not an echo of the past. It is the slow, rhythmic, metabolic heat of a living, breathing titan. It sleeps, conserving its arcane energy, waiting for some unknown catalyst to awaken it once more. Its life is not measured in years, but in epochs. This connects directly to a series of modern, unsolved phenomena that have baffled scientists. Those mysterious, globally reported skyquakes, those anomalous booms that shake windows and defy explanation. They are not jets or meteorological events. They are the sonic shockwave of a rock, briefly awakened, breaking the sound barrier in the thin, frigid upper atmosphere. And the baffling disappearances, entire herds of livestock vanishing from remote ranches, even small vehicles disappearing from desolate highways. These are not tall tales. They are the chilling evidence of a colossal predator's hunting patterns during these brief, terrifying periods of wakefulness, a titan gathering sustenance before returning to its ancient slumber. But this raises the final, critical question. If they live and die, even across millennia, why are there no colossal skeletons? The answer reveals the rock's most mythic quality of all. Its very biology defies our understanding of permanence. The creature's bio-mineral bone lattice is theorized to be fundamentally unstable after death, exposed to the elements without the living biofield that sustains its colossal frame. The crystalline structure rapidly decomposes. It doesn't rot, it sublimates, turning to dust and returning its arcane energy to the earth. It leaves behind not a fossil, but an echo, a ghost skeleton that vanishes on the wind, leaving only legend in its wake. So look up. The world is not fully mapped. The skies are not empty. We live on a planet of slumbering gods and sleeping titans, their presence a quiet hum beneath the noise of our own civilization. The rock is not merely a story told, but a dormant reality, waiting for its time to once again eclipse the sun. The call to wonder, then, is to see the world as it truly is. A place where the clouds are not just water vapor, but a potential veil. A place where the deepest mysteries are not buried in the past, but are simply asleep. And one day, the legends will awaken. So how does a creature of such colossal mass simply vanish upon its end? The answer may not lie in biology, but in an arcane property woven into its very being. Perhaps its form is not merely flesh and bone, but a temporary manifestation of primeval, telluric energy, a force that coalesces into a living titan for a time, only to dissipate back into the earth, leaving nothing but its legend behind. A chilling, yet elegant, solution to an impossible biological paradox. This cyclical nature, this return to the earth, might explain the strange quiet in our modern world. But the silence is not absolute. Think about the unexplained seismic signatures detected deep within the world's most remote mountain ranges. Brief, powerful tremors that originate too close to the surface for tectonic activity, yet possess a rhythmic, almost biological pulse. These are dismissed as data anomalies. But are they? What if these tremors are not geological, but biological? The stirrings of a colossal being deep in its dormancy, the flexing of a mountain-sized wing, the slow beat of a heart that measures its rhythm in decades. The implications are staggering. We are not just looking for a creature. We are monitoring the slow awakening of a living geological force. The rock's influence extends beyond the physical realm, etching itself into our collective psyche as the ultimate symbol of untamable power. It is the archetype of the sky titan, the living mountain that hunts. This is not mere folklore. It is a primal memory, an echo of a time when humanity was not the apex of the world, when we knew to look to the skies, not with wonder, but with profound instinctual fear. This deep-seated archetype forces us to reconsider the limits of our world. It suggests that the scale of nature is not bound by what we can easily observe and categorize. The rock represents a higher order of life, a form of existence so vast and long-lived that its life cycle operates on a timescale we can barely comprehend. It is the ultimate testament to the world's unfathomable hidden majesties. Picture it, just for a moment, in its full, breathtaking glory. Feathers not of keratin, but of a shimmering biometallic alloy, catching the sun like 1,000 blades. Eyes like molten gold, holding the wisdom of forgotten epochs. A wingspan so immense it generates its own weather systems, its passage marked by sudden squalls and a deafening, thunderous silence. Such a creature would be more than an apex predator. It would be a keystone species for an entire mythic ecosystem. Its nest, a source of rare minerals, its migratory patterns, shaping the very climate of the lands below. Its existence would be a fundamental law of nature, a colossal, living engine that drives the world's deepest and most arcane cycles. The hunt for the rock is therefore a hunt for the very soul of the mythic world. The evidence is scattered, enigmatic, and often terrifying. It exists in fractured ancient texts, in inexplicable geological data, and in the persistent global belief that something of impossible scale watches us from the highest, most inaccessible peaks. And so, the rock remains the ultimate enigma, not a flight of fancy, but a profound, living question hanging over the roof of our world. It challenges our understanding of life, of time, and of the true, unfathomable scale of reality. The legends are not just real. They are waiting,